What is going on, Giants Nation? This is Hit Squad Productions, back at it again, and woo! What a way to start off the new year. With the Giants win, with the Washington losing tonight, we can make our way into the playoffs. We win 23-19 in a crazy NFC East Division rivalry game. Amazing, man. I couldn't be more happy. You know, this game was dirty, especially on the Dallas side of the ball. You know, they were starting stuff with our players. Nick Gates wasn't having any of that. Neither was Sterling Shepard. So, in my honest opinion, fuck Dallas. Y'all heard me. Fuck Dallas. So, let's get into some positives, right? Now, the offense as a whole, we're going to dive into that. But I want to look into the Giants' offensive line. The Giants' offensive line looked pretty good. Yeah, I know we gave up a couple sacks more towards the ending of the game. But look, we were able to establish the run as well as give DJ enough time to make his reads and create some plays. You got to give credit to Andrew Thomas. He looked really good going against Randy Gregory, Dexter Lawrence, or Aldon Smith. He held his own. The offensive line looked great. And especially with Dave DeGuglielmo being out due to COVID protocols, and we just had an interim offensive line coach pretty much piecing everything together, you really can't ask for a better game from the offensive line. Julian Love held his own against CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, but I thought he looked very impressive against Amari Cooper. Let's be honest, guys. He is an upgrade over Isaac Yiadom. I have stated numerous times that I don't think that the Giants view him as a solidified number 2 corner, let alone a cornerback, period. But I do think that, he is an upgrade over Isaac Yiadom, and hopefully he could provide depth at that position next year, and hopefully we can address that position. Now, look, the defense stepped up and showed out. They played hard. They played physical. This defense has been the heart and engine of this team. I gotta give a lot of credit to Patrick Graham for getting the most out of his players, because, man, this defense came to play. I loved what I saw on the field. It makes me even more excited for next year when we can get an edge rusher, we can get some linebackers and some quarterback help. This defense is for real, and that's facts. Leonard Williams has 11.5 sacks this year, which is his career most, man. He had a huge sack with 1 minute left in the fourth quarter that kept us in the game. He could have had more sacks in this game, but he looked incredible. So did Dalvin Tomlinson. Kyle Fackrell had a key sack in the fourth quarter that we needed, and I will say this till my face is blue. Edge rushers make a difference. They make a difference in this league. We got some big guys up front, but at the same time, it would be nice to have a solid edge rusher on the outside so that we could get to the quarterback, and Kyle Fackrell let his presence be known. I thought Xavier McKinney looked good. He almost had an interception, but Darnay Holmes had a holding penalty, but he did have a game-winning interception. Now look, he does need to improve on tackling, but I do think that he will be a great player for us to use to come. He was my favorite draft player that we got this year. I thought that we got a steal. I know a lot of people, including myself, we really wanted Isaiah Simmons, but looking at the film, Xavier McKinney is Isaiah Simmons 2.0, and in my opinion, a better player. Now, I don't want to, really establish that yet. I'm a little iffy on that because I want to see how they go through their careers. I do think that both of these players will be excellent at their positions. The problem with Isaiah Simmons is that Arizona hasn't yet been able to find a position that he really does well in. I think that with Xavier McKinney, he does well in the safety position. He does pretty solid in the slot as well. He held his own. I know Darnay Holmes is in there for a little bit, but it didn't seem like he was in there for the rest of the game. I'm not sure if that's because of his knee injury, but Xavier McKinney looked solid. Thank you so much, Xavier McKinney. Now let's get to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones looks solid. 17 for 25, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, which was Evan Ingram's fault primarily, if you are asking me, let alone any other Giants fan. DJ extended the field and took chances. DJ made excellent dime throws to his receivers, such as the TD throw to Dante Pettis, which was a dime in a small window, and the pass to Slayton, which hit him in the face. Now look, DJ did have some throws that were underthrown, but overall, Daniel Jones looks solid. His line checks are getting better through the weeks, and I think that we are seeing an improved product. I think that we're seeing that if we could get Daniel Jones some weapons, if we could get him some time, he could do a lot of things. Now, granted, like I said, there are some things that he has to improve on. I stated this in previous videos, but I really like what I'm seeing from DJ. Sterling Shepard had a phenomenal game, and he made a difference in this game. He had 2 TDs and made crucial catches that kept us on the field. He may not win on the outside, but in the slot, he's a mismatch for defense. This is how I think that Sterling Shepard should be used. Sterling Shepard, this was one of the games since the Pat Shurmur era, probably since the Falcons game, where I actually saw Sterling Shepard play and said, wow, he can really do crazy things on the inside and on the outside. I understand that he's more of a slot guy. He doesn't really win on the outside, but this was one of those games for me as a fan watching the game that made me say, wow, Sterling Shepard can be that guy, not a number 1, but a solid number 2 or a number 2B. I really liked what I saw from Sterling Shepard. Now, Dante Pettis came clutch in this game. If you guys watched my last video, I said that with Golden Tate being out, that would give players like Austin Mack, CJ Board, and Dante Pettis more opportunities, and I think that would actually help this roster going into next year to see what we have, because clearly Golden Tate is not going to be part of the Giants' future. I think he'll either be cut or traded next year. I think he'll most likely be cut though. But look, Dante Pettis came clutch in this game. He had a great catch and an even better effort on his first TD with the Giants. He had a crucial 10-yard catch in the 4th quarter that led to a Gano field goal. McCarthy didn't challenge it, but I think that if he would have challenged it, he would have won the game. He would have won that challenge. It would have made that field goal a 60-yard field goal instead of a 50-yard field goal. Thank you so much, Mike McCarthy. You are a horrible coach. Now, let's go to the negatives. The Giants' mistakes started to add up and almost bite them in the ass. Their margin for error is very, very small. They beat themselves, and it's something that has been noticed almost all year. This is something that the Giants have to improve on if they want to be a competitive team in the years to come, which I do think that they will. I really do think that. Now, let's look at another negative, Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram dropped 2 crucial balls and one that led to an INT, which led to a momentum-shifting drive for Dallas. Now, Daniel Jones has 10 interceptions this year, and I think you can make an argument that 6 out of, maybe 6, if not 7 of those INTs were because Daniel Jones targeted Evan Ingram, and he dropped the ball. He needs to improve on that, man. It's week in and week out. You can expect Evan Ingram to fuck up. And it almost always bites us in the ass. It almost bit us in the ass in this game, but Evan Ingram's issues did not cost us the game for once. I'm very excited with how this team overcame that. We're going to get a little bit into Wayne Gallman as well. But I want to look at Jason Garrett. Garrett in the 4th quarter had bad play calling. I thought, the QB draws were a little bit too much. Running on 2nd and 14, the list goes on. Now, it is believed that Garrett is gone after this season, per Jason LaCarfona. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. But it's believed that he's going to be gone this year, as well as some other coaching changes, and it'll be pretty surprising if Garrett keeps his job with Dallas. Now, I've been on record of saying that I want a more competent OC. I don't think that Garrett is the worst offensive coordinator, but, his play calling is pretty bad. His, route tree that he draws up for his receivers are pretty bad as well. He has some bland play calling, but I do think that, he will find another job somewhere else. And my only concern with releasing Jason Garrett is having DJ learn a 4th system in 3 years. That's a lot on any quarterback. But Garrett needs to improve on his play calling and some of the plays that he draws up, because they're starting to become a little bit too predictable. They were predictable before, but they're starting to become a little bit too predictable. Now, another negative for me was the dropped INTs. Now, there was a dropped INT from Love and James Bradbury. Love almost had a walk-in pick 6. He almost had a walk-in pick 6, and that would have really changed the game for us. I thought that both of those INTs, they could have changed the game by a lot, but regardless, Giants were able to make the most out of it, and Xavier McKinney came clutch for us at the end of the game. Now, I do think that one of the things that the Giants need to improve on if they have any chance of doing anything in the playoffs is the holding penalties killed our defense, and it needs to be cleaned up. Judge got killed, if you guys remember, by the media earlier this year for the way that he had his players practicing with the balls in their hands to prevent holding penalties. But overall, you haven't seen a lot of holding penalties this year, which you got to give credit to Joe Judge for that. You really, really do, because there are a lot of teams this year where they're very high in the penalty mark for holding. And thankfully, the Giants aren't one of them. But the holding penalties need to be cleaned up because they almost costed us today. Now, I want to look at Wayne Gallman. I thought that Gallman put the ball down twice and almost lost us the game with his second fumble. Gallman should have gone down. After that, tackle with Jalen Smith, he should have gone down. Now, if you guys remember, Gallman had a fumbling problem in his early years with the Giants, and it looked like he fixed that up, right? But I think it is still clear that he has an issue with it, because this is something that it really could have costed us the game, especially on his second fumble. Overall, I love it. I'm very, very excited with this team. This team fought. This team played hard. Joe Judge, when he first came to the Giants, said that we're going to play hard-nosed football, punch you in the nose football for 60 minutes, and that's exactly what we did today. I'm loving what I see. I believe in Joe Judge. I believe in this team week in and week out. Even on days where I'm saying I don't think the Giants are going to win. Guess what? Every time the Giants play, I'm screaming at my TV. I'm banging my chest, believing that this team will win. I don't care if we play the Kansas City Chiefs. That's just how I roll. But let me know what you guys think below. We are now 6-10. Our fate going into the playoffs relies on a Washington loss, so hopefully Philly can handle their business. Now, even if the Washington football team beats Philly, I thought that this was a successful season for Joe Judge. There's a lot to build on. There's a lot of positives. There are a lot of negatives, let's be honest. But I do think that with a full off season of preparation and a training camp and getting some more key pieces, this team can be a competitive team going forward. And I think that we as Giants fans have a lot to be excited about. Giants fans, let me know your thoughts below. How did you feel about this game? I'm pumped up, as you guys can hear, and hopefully Philly handles their business. Anyways, this was another video of Hit Squad Productions. If you're new, hit that like button, subscribe, share the video, and comment your thoughts below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Be easy.